Hi, girlies. Welcome to Book Please Podcast. It's Alina here.
Hey guys, it's Amanda.
How you doing, girly?
Good. Just got back from New York. There is nothing like a bacon, egg, and cheese from New York.
I was going to say, love living in Florida, but you just can't with the food. You can't compare it. It'll never be the same.
Oh, everywhere we went, it was like so good. We went to a place on the water, like the shrimp, like the fish. They even had like a sushi bar where they like have fish that they catch and they'll make you sushi right then and there. I was
God.
I love it.
I love that. My brother is actually in town visiting, and my mom sent him like a whole bag of homemade food. I love when I get home and I have the food, but traveling through the airport with a bag of food, and I usually have to like make a joke because I'm like, please TSA, don't take this bag of food that my mom like cooked for me.
Aww.
And I'll make a joke and I'll be like, oh, my mom, like it's just my mother, overbearing mom. Like I'm trying to make friends with the TSA person to be like, please don't take away.
Shout out Gigi, we love you.
She's a queen. She's a queen. You know what? I'm going to ambush you for a second. Don't get mad at me.
Okay, go.
Okay. We didn't get to bring this up before we get into what we're going to talk to because we did have a guest, and I kind of want to make a prediction with certain things, just on the record with things that have been trending. Okay. Just let me do it for 2 seconds. Okay.
Okay, I don't even know what you're talking about. Go ahead.
So Taylor Swift. Okay. Travis Kelce went on stage at the Eras Tour in London. Did you see that?
Who didn't see it? It was all over.
Yeah, so that was crazy. But I just want to make a quick prediction. I feel like, do you think he would propose on stage eventually? Like, how do you propose to Taylor Swift?
I feel like that's like her, like, she does music. That's her thing. I would want something different.
That makes sense.
I would want something more intimate.
Yeah.
I don't know. I if it was me, I mean, maybe because I'm not a Taylor Swift fan. And
yeah.
I mean, I love music.
I actually kind of maybe agree with
but
you.
I would love I think winning the Super Bowl, like that would have been.
Yeah. At the Super Bowl, you mean?
Oh, I think that would have been so cute. Like, it's like two highs. Like, not only did we win, I now get to propose.
I'm getting on a knee.
That would just be.
Yeah, I hear that. And I figured like if anything, it would be like the very last show in December, because like when you're not going to just do it on a random show and then have all these other shows. Like I feel like it would be like that last show, like something big. And like she's thinking she's going through choreography, and then all of a sudden like it switches up and he proposes. But I think you're right too, where it's like, this is her job, so maybe she wants something different and special.
Regardless, if he did choose to do that, it would be cute. It'd be broadcasted. Everyone would see it. I think she'd love it.
Yeah.
Like capturing that. And then, I mean, I would hope it'd be at the end, because if you did that in the beginning, I can't focus the rest of the time.
Totally. That's so true, because what would you do? Like you have to just keep doing the show. Like I would die.
Yeah, that would be too much for me.
Yeah. But thank you for letting me have my 5 minutes.
Of course. I mean, I like the prediction part. I'm like, okay, I can chime in on this, even though I'm not like.
No, totally. Would you want to be somewhere like where you're away when you get proposed to and like you have your intimate thing, or do you want a thing where you're like, okay, my family comes right after and they run out? Like you want it just you guys?
Yeah, I'd prefer it intimate, but I also want it like recorded. I want my ring shape.
100%.
Yeah, I don't mind like having like maybe our parents there, or like sibling, like something, or like our close friends.
Yeah.
But I do prefer it. I think it's an intimate moment, and we're going to be celebrating with our family when we get back, or every other time.
I wouldn't mind it if I was like on a trip, and then when I get back, like you said, we do like a little thing. But I also wouldn't mind if I'm local, if like, especially if it's in Florida, if afterwards then my family and you and like my friends come around the corner, like I would like that too, I think.
No, you would. I know you would.
You're
like that.
You would, bitch,
you would
like but that. I want to be.
Yeah, no, it's about me. Then I'm like, oh, it's family reunion, and I'm like, but meanwhile, I want it to be like intimate with me and my partner.
No, totally. If it's on a trip though, I would love that. So that would be fine. So, and then you come back to it and you're all excited.
And think about it, like on a trip, your nails are done, your hair's done. Like, you're going to look great every single, like sometimes we go out to dinner and I'm just like, I'm bumming it. Like, you're lucky I put lotion on my face.
But you need them to like plan it that way and be strategic and like have your friends like make sure your nails are done. Like you team up with the friends. Like he has to team up with the friends and make sure, or make something up like, oh, we're going to this thing to like make sure you look good.
Oh yeah, car guy knows to ask you. Like
yes,
he knows. Like he already knows what ring shape. And,
yeah.
I feel like if he picked a ring shape that wasn't I'd be like, oh my God, so thoughtful. Like you wanted to do this yourself, but that's not what I wanted.
Right, totally. Like love that, but like, come on, this is the one thing that we've thought about like our whole lives. Exactly. For me, what's extremely important is like the hidden cameraman in the bushes has to get my good side, because then the pictures are in the garbage. Like like the left side is the only side that America will see.
That's a good call. Now I have to say sides.
I have said this to him. I'm like, whoever's in the bushes, just make sure it's on this side. Like literally, that is so key. Even when you get married, apparently there's like, I guess it depends where. Like if you're in a church or whatever, there's like a traditional rule. There's one side for the women and one side for the men. Yes. I will be on the opposite side. I'm gonna be like, I don't care. Everybody mess it up because I have to be on my good side.
I think I'm the same. And I think the woman's side is my ugly side.
Yes. Yeah. And that won't be happening.
Well, I guess I ain't having a traditional
wedding.
Sorry
to all the churches and venues. You're going to have to be all discombobulated. Everybody pitch.
It's so funny you brought this up. There's someone I have on Instagram, and thank God they don't watch, but I'm about to blow them up.
Dead.
But they just proposed to someone that they've been dating. And they're on vacation. Acts, the typical like act like we're taking a photo,
right? And then you get down on
and
a
then
knee.
They're like, okay, like I said, cheese, like are we done? So then he gets down on one knee, and she's like, oh my God, what are you doing? And he doesn't say anything, and then she hugs him, and he passes the ring to her. She puts it
what?
I was sitting next to Car Guy, and I was like, no. I need you to tell me why, you're in love with me.
Where's
you want to spend the rest of your...
Put it on my finger.
And then I was like, oh, he grabbed the right hand. That was good. Like, that's the hand you should be grabbing. And then I was like, wait, but why'd you pass her over? Like, you're not even going to put, like... Yeah. I was just like, oh, no.
There's so much that they really don't know. Like, there was a time where my boyfriend was like, oh, the big ring is the engagement. I thought that was the wedding ring. There's so much that they don't know.
But I mean,
that's why I need you. I need my cousins. Like everybody chime in and help.
My biggest fear is like accidentally grabbing the wrong hand, and then I have this on video, and I'm like, oh my God, you were so nervous.
No, that's not a big deal, though.
Oh no.
No, you just if he's taking your hand, just like
switch
this one,
it,
babe. It's not a big deal.
That's true.
That's really not that serious.
And then they're so nervous, like have to think about that too. All right, you're right. But I just want it perfect.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care about those little things, but like, there's just certain things that I'm like.
I'd be so mad. I'd be like, no, there's a redo. Like, you're not even gonna put it on.
Good try out, but we're gonna go again.
Man, I hope he doesn't watch the podcast.
Maybe we should move on to our stories.
Yes,
we should talk about who's pregnant.
Well, because there's a lot of people pregnant.
What I know, actually, what on earth? I was like shook when I got the notification on my phone. Gypsy Rose Blanchard is pregnant. She did not stop since she got out of prison. She has just been busy. That
girl's like, I need to catch up. I need to have a few marriages.
A few men and then a baby.
So my thing on it is like, that girl's been through so much. Like, if she's happy, I'm happy for her. Yes, her whole situation was definitely, I mean, she was kind of grown too when, she did kind of escape everything.
Yeah.
Well, not escape, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then she was dating that one guy.
Right.
And then that looked just like the mother. So
basically what happened was, well, here's who this guy is. She had somebody in prison that like was writing to her as a pen pal. And he had like seen her documentary. His name was like Ken Urker. And he was talking to her, whatever. It just started out as that. Then they formed a relationship while she's in prison, and they get engaged in 2018. They don't make it till she got out at 2023. That's the guy she's having the baby with now.
Yep.
But they broke up. Then she finds somebody else, gets married while she's in prison. That's Ryan Anderson.
Yep, the guy everyone knows, yeah.
Yes. And then comes out with him talking about his D, like she's a free woman.
She was fighting with Natalie Nunn online.
Wild and crazy. Yes. Like she was just going all out. Moves in with her husband. And then 3 months after moving in together, they split, and then she gets back with the ex-fiance, and they've only been together. So her and Ryan Anderson filed for divorce in March. Just a couple months later, and she's now pregnant. And she said too, she was like, this was totally not planned. And you know what's funny? She had gone to like an OBGYN appointment and they're like, you're not ovulating regularly. Like, come back in a month. We'll put you on fertility pills to like get you normal. So she and she didn't even get to that appointment. So she completely like disregarded everything and wasn't like, oh, I don't have my period. She just thought her cycle was off and she wasn't ovulating, and she was pregnant and she had no idea.
I wonder if her mom like told her about sex and how babies are made.
Well, her mom.
I'm just curious. Because all I kept reading in the article was it wasn't planned. It just happened. Yeah, I'm like, do you know how babies are made?
She announced it on YouTube. So it was, and she like talked through like how she was having these little like signs where in hindsight, she's like, well, duh. She's like, I was so hungry. I had these random cravings. I was so tired. So it all makes sense later. But I think too, her mom, like, she had Munchausen by proxy. So like, her mom wasn't really the best person to look at to be like, did she prepare you for this? Her dad wasn't in her life. You know what surprises me about her, though? I find that given everything, because even before she was in prison, like she was in prison at home, like nothing was normal for her in terms of her life. Yep. And I was actually surprised by how well spoken and almost like with it she was, like on all the jokes and the things and social media. Like she came out, I feel like, seemingly like well-spoken and normal, even though a little off, of course. I was definitely like, wow, like she is like,
I thought she would be more fragile than she is.
Yeah.
Like her clapbacks, I'm just like,
she is on one. Did you see when she posted like her ex and then a side by side?
Yes.
I was like,
what'd she say? She went from,
she's like, I had to kiss a frog to get my prince.
Yeah.
And she literally, even if you write that, that's one thing, but she posted with her ex-husband as the frog and then posted with her new boyfriend as the prince. Like, that's what's wild about it.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I was just like,
she didn't even sub him. She's like, here's a photo of the frog.
She was like, I'm proud.
I was like, ma'am, okay. I wonder how he feels.
The ex?
Yeah.
I don't care. I feel like he got his like 10 minutes of fame where he's just like, thank you for your services.
He was there for the clout for 100%, sure. Yeah, he really was.
I mean, I hope this new guy is like there for the right reasons too.
And it's weird too, because I think that I read somewhere, I hope I'm correct in saying this, that he like found her from like watching her documentary and like was so intrigued and started writing her.
But like intrigued,
so it's like, are you all fans? Is like everybody just like, oh, I want to be with you?
Yeah. I mean, I hope it's just like he felt for her and then he was like writing to her, saw this side of her that he really liked and fell in love. I hope that's the case. I hope they have a happy family.
Yes.
I hope, you know, obviously what she's been through, I don't think she'd do that to her kid, but I hope she continues to go to therapy. So, you know, it's nice and...
Yeah.
I don't even know if she goes to therapy. I'm assuming.
Wishing them well. Maybe this will be good for her. She did say, like, when she announced, she was like, I know people are going to be judging me and thinking I'm not ready to be a mom. But like, she said that she felt this shift immediately since becoming pregnant. And like, all she cares about is this baby. And they've talked about like wanting to raise it in like a happy and healthy environment despite what they've been through. So wishing them the best.
I'm excited to follow the journey and see that
kid.
What
Gypsy Rose
a little Gypsy Rose, yeah.
So funny.
So you were saying that she should have saw signs because she said it reminded me. So you know that show where it's like these women that are like a little heavier and they're trying to, so she's at the doctor.
Yeah.
And she's like, you know, I think I may be pregnant right now. And the doctor's like, oh, she's like, because she's like, when was your last period? And she didn't. This. And then she's like, yeah, I'm craving things like water. And then her sister's like, you're just thirsty.
And she was like 1,000 pounds. Like she was one of those, like she was on like my 1,000-pound life.
I was like,
something.
she can't be serious.
Yeah.
But and the doctors are so nice. She was just like, okay.
Yeah. That's really, really hilarious.
I love the banter of the sisters. Like, they'll be like,
she's like, bitch, you thirsty.
And she'll be like, you're bigger than me. And you're complaining.
Incredible stuff. Quality television.
They have personalities for people that are going through the stuff they're going through.
Yes, for sure. There's another pregnancy. Well, I feel like there are a few, but
It's like the year of babies.
The years.
Or baby making.
Literally. So Lindsay Hubbard from Summer House is pregnant, like so shortly after her relationship with Carl ended, which is honestly, it's giving Gypsy Rose. Like it was like you leave the husband or the fiance, and then in a 2-month span, you're pregnant with somebody else.
Crazy. I mean, not crazy. I mean, it's definitely happened before, but when I saw that release, I was like, But then I was also like, you know what? Good for her. You know, like I'm a big believer that you could spend 5 years with someone and, you know, they're just not your person and you just like wasted that time, or not even wasted that time. You grew apart and you can meet someone and then just know instantly. Like you'd be married in 3 months, start a family, and that's your person for the rest of your life. So I hope that's the case for her.
Yeah. I mean, clearly she was in a toxic relationship. Like whether you are or aren't Team Lindsay, like they weren't fit for each other.
At all.
It was brutal. And it was sad. It like all unfolded right before they were supposed to get married. And then it's like, you know what? Sometimes things are like a blessing and you have no idea. And I'm sure it's scary. And it's crazy too, because like we don't even know who it is. Like it's that early on in the relationship. What I found funny too was like she posted her announcement and she was like, my boyfriend and I are expecting, we're so excited. And then she was like #hubcub, and I'm like, oh my God, because you can't even say his last name. Like I was like, that's hilarious. Like,
so I watched the show and I feel like you said, they're just not good for each other. Like there's times when Lindsay would talk to him and I'd be like, if you were talking to my brother like that, we'd have such a problem. Yeah. But then there's times where like I understand her side, you know, she's super frustrated. She wants to build a life with this person and she feels like they're not meeting her halfway. So I saw both sides, but I felt like, you know, if someone brings out that side of you where you're nasty to them all the time, they're not your person, let alone someone you want to marry.
Totally. How do you think he feels about this?
Honestly, he's such a nice guy. I think he'd be happy for her. He'd be like, you know,
but
better
I feel
him
like
than me.
He wasn't that into like, I feel like he's just like, okay, like,
I think they were like,
fun.
They're
not devastated.
They're a little older too. So I feel like they were like, settling, you know, like,
that makes
felt
sense.
Comfortable.
Yeah.
You know, when they were talking about how they weren't intimate anymore, I was like, I don't understand.
Yeah, no. And it's like, yes, okay, you're a little older, but like at our age, if you're already letting go of that, then it's like, it's a sign, I feel like.
Yeah, I'd rather wait for the right person than like ever. I'm so happy they ended up not getting married. Like, I think it's the best thing that happened.
For sure. And I saw this article where she was like asked about like how he feels about it. And if she said anything, she's like, my past is my past. I don't owe him any explanation. Like he'll find out with the rest of the world. And she literally was like, frankly, I don't care how he feels about it. Like that's done. The relationship is over.
That's her personality too.
And I was like, okay.
Yeah, she could be dismissive, which I think, I mean, it's good to be. She's like, this is my life. She's glowing.
Yeah.
Like good for her.
Yeah. All right. Well, good luck to you, Lindsay.
Yes.
And your man, who
we will find out. Someone will find out who he is.
Even Margot Robbie, Barbie, is pregnant.
Oh, yes.
Isn't this crazy? This is a pregnancy episode.
So she was like, I saw the news.
We're not pregnant.
I saw the news that she was pregnant. And I look over to Car Guy and I'm like, why aren't I pregnant yet? Why is everyone else getting pregnant before me?
I really cannot.
I'm kidding. I'm waiting.
She's joking.
Yeah, I'm joking.
Yeah, she's waiting.
Yeah. Next year, this time.
The booklets need you.
Okay, fine. But they also need a little baby to come to.
I'm just letting you know, like, I will obviously take a little break, but I plan to pod on my maternity leave because I will go crazy.
Girl,
I'm gonna let you guys all know everything. I'm gonna just keep a post. Yeah, we're gonna cut back to this when I'm like miserable and dying and can't sleep, and I'm like, I'm not doing this. So no, but I will.
No, but then we're gonna record you from your bed.
Preg and pod, and I'm gonna give birth and pod, and we're gonna be in the delivery room.
Girl, you're gonna have nothing else to do but read.
Coming to you live. Yes, exactly. Coming to you live, about to give birth. We're going live.
Okay. What are your thoughts on women that have like a full face on when they're giving birth?
Love it.
That would be me.
Go.
100%.
I'm so happy you asked me.
I agree because I'm like, I get it. Once that water breaks, I'm going to the bathroom throwing up my
I've seen girls with rollers in the delivery bed, and I'm like, fuck it up, sis.
Yes.
That's going to be me. Yep. I've seen people with their like sisters and cousins curling their hair. Yep. Fuck it up, sis. That's going to be me. That's going to be us. Full
100%.
face. I'm going to go, Sue, I'm going to go get my lashes done before I'm giving birth.
No, Sue's coming to you.
I'm like, yeah. She could come into the hospital room and give me a nice little fill. Because you know what? what? Those pictures are forever. I really don't care what people have to say about it.
I don't care either.
Like, and I know people are like, no, wait till you get there. You're not going to. No, I'm not going to be that way. Like, I know myself to my core.
I want it all recorded.
And I know who I am, and I can't not be this bitch. And I promise you, I will have makeup on. And I will have my hair done, and I will have nails and lashes. And
maybe not nails, but everything else,
for the baby, maybe not. Or maybe shorties.
Yeah, you need shorties. Don't be selfish.
Ooh.
Don't be selfish. You're going to have to be cleaning booties. Don't be selfish.
Damn. Okay. Short nails, but I'll still have a little something. Okay. It'll be a
sparkle.
It'll keep my inner slut showing. I'm just kidding. No. Might have to cut that out.
Nope, I'm keeping it.
You know what?
You edit. So do what you want.
That's really funny. I was just kidding, but it's fine. Should we get into our book?
Yes, I've been loving it.
Oh my God. First of all, shout out to Miss Karin Slaughter, because she is such a queen that she reposted our reel when we were talking about her name, because like literally if you remember last episode, we were talking about her being a thriller author and having the last name Slaughter. Like, you can't make this shit up. You really can't, because that's actually her name. Yep. Confirmed. And loved to see her showing us some love on the pod. So love this book even more just because of that.
She made our day.
But we read chapters 5 through 11 in Pretty Girls by Karin Slaughter, and OMG, we were left on such a cliffhanger. These
I have so many questions.
So many questions, so many ideas. And as I'm going through them, I'm like writing things down, and then I feel like they're a little bit disproven, or it can't be this, or so maybe we should start from like when we started off in chapter 5. She has now gone through the videos that she found at her home, Paul's footage, and it's very like vile footage. And she's like, this has to be real. Like, this isn't porn.
Oh, yeah.
Brings it to the police station.
Like, I was like, good for her. Because usually in books, I feel like they would be like, this is the right thing to do, but she doesn't do it. So she does the right thing.
Yes.
Brings him over to the cop who's
there sitting there with Adam.
Oh, yes. Adam's there.
Which is what that to me was a red flag. I'm like, they're working together.
They're in cahoots.
They are. Like, there's no way. So she like is doing the right thing, which is so honorable. But she's like, and you know what, too, having had somebody disappear and not knowing like her own sister, like
she thought about other families.
Yeah, like she almost has this duty to be like, no, it's above me and how much I love my husband.
And she doesn't recognize any of the girls. It's not like, I feel like her mind wasn't thinking like, do I know these people? It was more of a like, this is gruesome.
At all. Yeah, she didn't recognize them. Totally. She just brought them from like the goodness of her heart, like, shit, this actually could be something serious.
Yep.
And while she's there, which is so weird too, because they try and say like, oh, Adam was just there because he was somebody who had a house key. But like, it just seemed a little sketchy.
Because of the burglary. Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know, like even just the way he was like, give me those files.
His demeanor. Yeah.
And you say it so comfortably in front of the police. Yeah. Like, that was weird.
As we continue to read and we find out Adam's like involvement with the police and all that stuff, I don't think he has anything to do with it. Okay. But I thought the cop was more sketchy than Adam.
Yeah. Well, that we can get into, because she gives him the footage and he is brushing it off.
Yep. He's telling her it's not real. It's fake because of X, Y, and Z. It's not the girl that's missing.
Right. He planted this by herself. She did not think, oh, hey, this looks like Anna Kilpatrick.
Anna, the girl that's missing, she's 16.
He's like, oh, I know what you're thinking. That's not Anna Kilpatrick. Like, she just looks like her. And she's like, motherfucker, I wasn't thinking that.
And then I text you because I'm like so annoyed. And I'm like, is this going to be like Gothica? And I know you said you didn't watch it, but it's like Holly Berry. So basically, I mean, I'll tell you because I don't think this is where the book is going. But she is put into a crazy place. And then she starts getting her memories back. And she finds out that her husband was like killing and like raping women with his cop best friend. So his cop was helping cover it up. So they were both. Like, I'm like, oh, is it Paul and now this cop that's like doing these to these young women, and that's why he's getting away with it because he has a cop that's helping him out. So I was like, ugh. But the more we read, the more I was like, oh,
yeah. And I thought too at first, I was like, maybe it's him behind the mask
because she doesn't know what his back looks like.
But then, well, at first I thought it was honestly Paul, but then that was like shortly like dropped. And then I'm like, could it be Adam? But I think Adam could be a decoy. You're right.
Yeah, I feel like, but then I'm also like, so we find out that Adam actually said that Paul was laundering money and like stealing money, not laundering, he was stealing money.
Yeah.
I don't even know if that's the same thing, but he was stealing money from the company and he had proof or something, which I found weird because they are loaded. Like, why would he need to? So I thought that was, so now, I mean, Adam could still be involved. The stealing money part, maybe he's setting him up. Maybe Adam's stealing it and Paul found out and that's why he's trying to get the files back. So who knows what it is?
Yeah, there's some urgency in why they want them. Also, the cops saying like, make sure there's no copies. Is this the only copy? Why do you care if it's the only copy?
He has something to do with it.
Weird. He has to, like, you can't dig out of that hole because
well, he's protecting someone.
Yes, totally. Like it really doesn't add up.
So the cops involved, we know that. So we already don't trust him.
Yes, totally. Yeah. And then one piece that I loved in this section was that it brought the sisters back together. Like in a desperate moment, Claire is drunk and like I loved, drunk, whatever else. And I loved that her sister just went there for her. And she knew when she saw the phone and her man was like, who is that? And she just sees a number and she just knew in her gut. She's like, it's Claire.
She needs me.
Yeah. I loved that. And I loved that, like, she was just straight up there for her.
I was very like, she's better than I am because
you would have been like, bitch.
I would have eventually went because I have a good heart. But I would have been like, I'm not going to jump because you said jump. You know, like I'm annoyed. Like, you know, you pushed me out of your life and now you want me because you have no one. And then you find out the stuff about your husband and now you may believe me. Like, call your mother. She's been there for you the whole time. Yeah. Why are you calling me?
No. I mean, I hear you.
But the more like I see them like, you know, together and the memories they talk, I'm happy they rekindle that.
Yeah, no, totally. It was so nice to see them like close. And even like Claire took opportunities to be like, I can't believe I didn't believe you. Like they're dissecting that whole thing. And Lydia's just like, no, like, don't worry about it.
And then she found out that Paul had a whole file on her sister.
That was really wild. And then, of course, Claire finds out, Lydia learns that Claire knows about her daughter. So like they have like this whole like moment of like catch up and also this moment of like being sad for all the years that they lost.
But I think they picked it up in like such a good place. They're going to figure things out. But I need to know what is up with Paul. Yes. What is his involvement? Ugh.
So first of all, when we found out about Lexi, at first I was like, is that Julia? I was like, is Lexi Julia? Like, is she alive?
They would recognize her voice.
I know. I just wanted her to be alive so bad.
I knew she was dead.
I just really was.
I didn't think it was going to be related to this though.
Yeah, that was crazy. So like obviously Paul is somewhere in this. And what I'm really trying to piece together is like, were they trying to like bring Claire into like, what is it with all these girls that like look like them that they're always so hyper fixated on? He even tried to like thrust her against a wall in an alley, like, and that guy came to get her. Like, was she supposed to be next? And then her man stopped him, or like what? I don't know. I just find it so weird. Yeah.
I'm wondering if Paul like was catching on to who was doing it, and then that's why he. But
I thought the same thing. I was like, maybe it's just framed where Paul is bad, but Paul is actually trying to solve everything.
I know when we find out at the end that Paul's alive, my first instinct was he has a brother that he was trying to like catching, like maybe he cares so much about his brother he doesn't want to give him up.
So you think he's a twin?
I think he's a twin.
That's such a good prediction. My brain could never think that. That's so good.
Because when you think about it, when he was dying, he was telling her he loved her, and I'm just like, if you did that to her, well, we know he didn't do that to the sister because the ages don't add up. But I wondered too, like, because Julia wasn't the first; it was going back to the 80s. They said with the tapes. So I wonder if, was it like Julia was like the onset of like a look that they liked? Like, I don't understand what made it.
And maybe that maybe the brother tried to like rape, quote unquote, Lydia to really scare her away from danger or something.
I think Paul would recognize his brother if that was him, unless he hired someone to do it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're saying even the guy who raped Lydia or tried to rape Lydia was the twin.
Oh,
could it be?
Well, he was driving Paul's car. That's why it could be the twin. So I see what you mean. And that's why maybe Paul like takes care of her because he's trying to make up for what his brother did.
I actually really love this twin theory.
It has to be a twin because maybe Paul's actually Sweden. Maybe his brother, you know, is he
And they tried
rapes
to
girls
take her.
like Lydia and Claire because he hates his brother for
Yeah.
like marrying this chick and like moving
Yeah.
on with his life.
You know what also made me a little bit suspicious, which I loved it though.
Mm-hmm.
Such a great moment, but it's really not. But when Claire was telling Lydia the story of like why she was put away, why she got arrested. And I was like dead. I was like, yes, bitch. Because she's thinking of her sister. And then this girl is like talking shit about Anna Kilpatrick, like, oh, she shouldn't have put herself in that position. She shouldn't have been there or worn that or whatever she said. She should have known better. And so then like Claire goes and like literally destroys her fucking leg. And she's like, you shouldn't have played tennis. And I was like, OMG.
And she never told Paul. Queen. I thought that was, you know, she said she tells him everything, but.
Yeah. But what was weird to me was in that moment, she was like, I got such a high.
I thought at first she was going to be involved.
She was like, it was like, she loved that moment. And I was like,
anger problems.
Ooh, I was like, this is something to note because she got a little too like, she was kind of enjoying the torturing and like severing this bitch's knee.
And then when she like ruined the whole garage, I think at first when the garage thing happened and then we heard about it, I was like, is she involved because does she get jealous that she like, you know, but now that we have the videos and all that stuff, I'm like, oh, okay, she's definitely not out there
killing people. Then I started thinking like crazy. Like, is she schizophrenic or bipolar and she has these episodes and like Paul's been trying to protect her from, because like what? She gets these angry spells.
And she becomes a hoe. Like, what's up with her sleeping with people?
Yeah, that's not her husband.
I'm like, she slept with Adam
it's like
3 times.
Two competing personalities.
Yeah, she's like, oh, like I was in the background with like the popular kids, but sleeping with all their boyfriends. And I'm like, what?
Freaking dead. Yeah, I don't know. So that is super interesting. Is there anything else that we can like call out?
So we didn't talk about Nolan, the FBI guy. We're wondering why he's involved. So like, I think he's going to be the one that, even though he seems like the creep right now, he's going to be the one to help them. He's going to be the one that they can trust. He's going to be the one that
I agree.
I think he's been looking for Paul's twin. Yeah, because things have been going on.
He knows something.
He knows something,
and that's why he's like circling and involving himself. And I don't think of him like the cop. And she even said too, we'll tell the FBI agent and not the cop.
Yeah.
So
Lydia has good judgment,
intuition. Yeah.
Claire's like, no, he creeps me out.
But no. I agree with you there.
But I think we unfolded everything. So the videos, we find out Julia was actually killed.
That was
on the videos.
That was really hard for me to get through. And the fact that like we had to leave the room with Claire, so we're not getting the description. Yeah, you're like living through the sounds that Lydia's making. I thought that was a really powerful choice, and it was so painful for me. I thought in that last cliffhanger moment that like, as you know how Claire goes back to collect the VHS tape, I thought she was going to see like who the person was. Like I thought there was going to be a face reveal.
When she said she smelled him, I was like, this mother heifer ain't that.
yeah, that is crazy.
And you know, she didn't make any phone calls. And I was like, fuck, you should have called the police first. What she did was go grab the tape first. Ugh. So he punched her in the face.
100%. Yeah, that was the last thing. And we're just like left on this crazy cliffhanger.
Okay, but that's my thing too. Like, does him and his brother, I'm assuming he's a twin, swap places? Because do they use the same aftershave? Like she was smelling him. Like, I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know.
But also if maybe he has been like posing as his brother in certain ways, or I mean, I don't know.
Maybe he's not a twin. They grew up but how can they fake his death? The cop?
Yeah, maybe he's not a twin. That's the other thing. I'm like, we don't really know that he died. I mean, I don't know.
I feel like how can you fake that? Like, the burial, like that's far-fetched.
That's true.
Unless twin makes more sense
and
to me.
Authorities are in on it.
Well, we find out that the mayor maybe as well.
This is also the governor, weird. Like some political figure too that Lydia brought up was like, oh, I know this person, like
because he ran against the girls.
And then she's like, wait a minute, this adds up to like a bad.
Like the cop said that he had to go to the burglary place, you know, as a personal favor because he was friends with Paul. Yeah, it was very sketch.
Well, I guess we'll find out next week. I cannot wait to dive right in.
I'm gonna have to have self-control with texting you.
Literally, please, because we really do save it for the pod. And I mean, we'll probably have to react a little bit, but I'm anxious to see. And I really think you're onto something with like that brother situation. And he looked a little different, so
yeah, she said he had more hair, which if it's been a few weeks, it makes sense.
Yeah, I guess we'll find out. So for next week, we'll be reading chapters 12 through 18. and I cannot wait to get started. Want to plug our socials, girly?
If you're watching on YouTube, please make sure to subscribe. We're also on TikTok and Instagram at Book Please Podcast. And we also made a Facebook group. It is Book Please -Booklets. Thanks, guys.
Meet us there. Bye.